Yeah. Yo, what's going on, everybody? We're live, and my guy's checking out the score. Aubameyang scored in Gabon, right? Big up to him, bro. But yo, everybody out here, today we're going to be talking about the report and what David Ornstein said in that report. It was a lot of stuff was being spoken about today. A lot of stuff being spoken about how David Ornstein's report already saying the Arsenal ahead of plans in the 2021 Arsenal transfer window. It's looking like they're seriously going to be looking into making some big moves. And you know what? Why hear it from us when you can hear it from the man himself? David Ornstein, take it away.
Question from Jack. This coming January window, do you see Arsenal making any move for an attacking midfielder and any potential departures from the current squad? The truth is, Jack, I'm not sure about an attacking midfielder coming into Arsenal in the January window. What I am hearing is that Arsenal are already well ahead in their planning for the window of summer 2021, and talks are taking place about potential recruits. That summer, of course, is when the likes of Mesut Ozil, Socrates, Mustafi, David Luiz are out of contract. And the sense I get is that they would be looking, understandably, to bring in a creative attacking midfielder in that sort of number 10 role, but perhaps who could operate towards the right as well, because they're fairly well stocked on the left. And of course, they pursued the signing in the summer of Houssem Aouar of Lyon. So I don't imagine that interest would necessarily go away. There have also...
Thank you. So yeah, David Ornstein is saying a bunch of stuff, man. And majority of the stuff that I'm hearing is that it looks like Arsenal are not even thinking about doing moves in the summer window, in the January window, but they're going forward straight ahead to the summer window. And it's like, what? Like, shouldn't they be focused on the January window first? Like, I'm a little confused, but at the same time, I get it. If you want to get Houssem Aouar in, if you want to get Szoboszlai in, it's not something you can necessarily do in the January window, especially when you have so much players leaving and ending their contract at the end of the season. So what do you think, Kesh? Tell me what you think, and people in the comment section, tell me what you guys think.
It's nothing that I'm surprised by, but we knew the likes of Ozil will be going, David Luiz, Mustafi, there's numerous players that will be leaving. And that end up freeing up, I think, up to like 800k a week on wages. So that means our transfer budget, wage budget will have a significant increase. But I disagree with the idea that we can't get a Szoboszlai in January when we know that we need that sort of player to come in and help with the creativity. For me, it shouldn't be a case of waiting till the summer, because in the summer we should be buying players anyway. But we need to look at immediate needs, and an immediate need right now is the January window coming up. We need a creative player, and probably not just a creative player, but obviously I wouldn't go as far to say that we're going to go on splash in January. So we need to just focus on the immediate needs, and that is a creative player.
Yeah, man. You know what? The thing is, I don't expect anything less from the club. Unfortunately, the club this is what they do. This is how they get away with doing stuff. And you know what? I'm not surprised if they go and they splash the cash in the summertime. But we've always needed that little bit of help in the January window. And you know what? They always find a way to do something, but it's never really impactful in that season. Like, look at the past couple seasons. We signed Aubameyang. He was impactful. That was a big signing in the summer, the January window. I don't think we've done a January window signing as impactful as Aubameyang. But do you see us doing anything like what Manchester United did with Bruno? To me, it's going to be tough to do, especially if they're already talking about 2021 and looking past January. It's not a good look, man.
We're giving them excuses. It's not tough. It's not tough at all. You look at the likes of, say, for instance, Lyon. They got Memphis Depay, who's going to be on a few months before his contract ends. If we need a striker, for instance, obviously I'm not saying we need Depay, but there's players out there. You can always get a player in the January window. I don't believe in this, the January market is difficult. If you put the money where your mouth is, you're able to get a player. So for us to go in January and not do any business at all, and when I mean business, I'm not talking about getting a Dennis Suarez who's probably not even good enough to help this team or not fit. I'm talking about strategic signings, like going in and doing your due diligence and looking at the player and saying this player fits the needs that we want, and go in there and actually getting the job done. That's the way
Yeah.
we need to act.
Instead of getting Dennis Suarez, we should have gotten Nkunku, which moved on that same summer. We should have gone and gotten ourselves a young, up-and-coming player who can be a creator, that can play multiple positions. That's what we need right now. And you know what? I doubt that. Oh man, as a fan, it's not very good what we're hearing right now. But you know what? Let me try to spin it in a way where it makes sense. Let's be honest. It's good news that the likes of Mustafi is going to be leaving, Socrates is going to be leaving, and we're going to be getting a center back in. We're already looking at center backs to get in. We're looking at the likes of what you called Ibrahim.
Kanate.
We're looking at the likes of Kanate. You know his nickname's Ibi. We're looking at guys like Upamecano. I don't know who else we're looking at, but we're looking at these guys. You know what I mean? And you know what? I just don't want another Willian, a cheap signing. I want us to go in and focus on improving the squad. Focus on signing someone for the future. Focus on signing someone for the now and the future. What do you think, man? You
I
look
agree.
deflated, bro.
No, I'm just thinking. I agree, but we know. Like, I'm not even looking at summer because we know we need players in summer. Like, I expect the club to sign players. I expect any club to sign players in summer. So I'm not even thinking about the summer window. What I'm thinking about right now is the January window. If we go through January and not sign the A player, for me, that's criminal. For me, Edu needs to leave because you can't watch all of this. Like, watching Arsenal, we're not going to suddenly just become a team that's going to, I don't know, challenge for the top four. And you've got to use all your windows. You've got to be strategic with it because you can wait until January. All right, cool. We decide we're not going to sign Szoboszlai or Aouar. Say, okay, we're going to go summer and sign them. But then you're going to have competition for these players in the summer as well. So you've got to think strategic and think about what's the best option. How can we make sure we get these players? And for me, January is a good window for that. I don't want to hear the excuses, oh, we haven't got money, because you need to find that money somehow. And when you look at it this way, these players that are not needed, that's leaving on the free, that money is going to get freed up in the summer anyway. So you can afford to spend them a 22 mil, which is what is rumored to be for Szoboszlai's release clause.
Yeah, man. You know what? David Ornstein does add on more in that little snippet that we're listening to. If you want to hear a little bit more of what he was saying, here's what he was saying. Like he added some context to what he was saying, Kesh. He wasn't just saying that, oh, Arsenal. He never said Arsenal can't spend in its January window. He just said they're looking at the summer.
That's what you have to take that with context, because when I think the way when I've read that or listened to it,
I've heard a little bit about is the right.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, so when I've read and listened to that, I've taken it in a complete different way. What I've taken from it is that he's saying the targets that Arsenal was going to be targeting for the summer, they're going to move ahead and try and get them a bit early. Whether it's one, whether it's two, they've got their targets, and I think they're going to try and make a quicker move for them rather than wait till the summer. That's what I've taken from that story.
He mentioned targets specifically. If I can fast forward a little bit and go to that part, if you want to hear what he says, and if you want, you can stop me at any point.
Right-sided central defender. If Luis and the other players mentioned were to go, then there could perhaps be a bit of a shortage there. Whether any of these plans can be escalated to January, I just don't know, and it might depend on potential exits. Now, we know that a number of players could be available for loan, the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe, William Saliba. They could also try again Arsenal to move on Mesut or Socrates, but
basically what he's saying there is he doesn't know what we're going to be doing in the January window, but he thinks if we can find a way to shift out some of these guys that we have in our team, if we can find a way to shift out the Mesut Ozils, if we can find a way to loan out Saliba, if we can find a way to get Emile Smith-Rowe on loan, any of these guys get on loan, and you know what? There is an opportunity for us to shift some of these guys out. But that is the question. Are we going to be able to do it? Are we going to be able to get Reece Nelson on loan? Are we going to be able to get anything at all to find a loan for Emil Smith Rowe? Are we going to find? Are we going to get anything?
I don't think loan is gonna do it. Like loaning players out is not gonna do it because that only frees up wages. In terms of Smith Rowe and Nelson, they could always find a loan. I'm not worried about that. It's just about getting these played individuals who are not playing or there's no future for them in on this Arsenal team to move on. I feel a lot of these players, they're more than willing to sit it out and wait till the summer. So that's where the obstacle is going to be. In terms of us having to depend on getting players out, I don't think it should be that because we should be able to put up a 22 mil in January for a player. Like it should. We are Arsenal Football Club. Like if it's a thing where they're withholding money from the recruitment team, which is what I think it is, because we can't be that broke. You've got teams like Aston Villa who outspend us.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. I think there's just money that's being withheld, as it's been done over the last few years anyway. Even on the Wenger, even within Champions League, we didn't spend that Champions League money when we had it.
No, we didn't. At that time, even Arsene Wenger said Arsenal are starting to find ways to get money out of somewhere. But you know what? The question I have for you and everybody watching, do you think we're going to go for our number one targets in Houssem Aouar, or are we going to go down to Szoboszlai, or are we going to even drop a deeper level down and go to the championship and get a Buendia? I understand all these players improve our squad a little bit.
I doubt it. I doubt we're going to go and look at a Buendia. If we're going to look at a Buendia, we'd have done it in the summer. Without a doubt, we would have done it in the summer. We're going to wait till next summer to do that. It doesn't make any sense. Targets we're looking at is targets that we can get, but it's just about putting the money down, which is always the case. It's always to do with money where Arsenal don't end up getting a target. If you look at the situation where they say, oh, we pulled out last minute because his brother was demanding 10 mil more. If that was Abramovich or something, or at Chelsea, that would have been a problem. I think Abramovich would just given that anyway. But for some reason, we're always penny pinching and neglecting our own circumstances.
Yeah, man. I honestly think it's going to be a situation where the club is going to look at everything and they're going to say to themselves, we need midfielders, but we need to sacrifice something to get something. And who do you think they're going to sacrifice? Because we don't have a lot of people we could actually sell for profit. Do you feel like we have to sell somebody or just get rid of people off the wage bill? Because
you can sacrifice a Lacazette. You can sacrifice a Lacazette. You've got a striker there.
Lacazette for a midfielder?
Why not? At the end of the day, his contract's running down to what, 1 year anyway. So you might as well call it quits and try and get as much money as you can for him and get in a player that we're in need of.
Okay. Now there is a little bit more to the interview. If you want to hear the last little bit of what he was saying, let's just play that and see what we derive from this last part.
We've got no indication that would be likely. We've got every indication that they'll be staying until the end of their contracts and leaving as free agents. Somebody else in the comments section asked me about Alexander Lacazette. As I've reported previously, Arsenal did receive a substantial offer towards the end of the transfer window just gone from Roma for Lacazette. It fell below their valuation for him, and so he stayed put. I don't know, but I can't imagine that situation will develop again in January. And I think Arsenal's priority will be for him to get back into top form and helping the team in a way that he's done before.
Okay, so from that part, he basically laid it out for us. He told us straight up, Arsenal rejected Roma's bid. Roma sent us a bid for Alexander Lacazette, and you know what? We turned it down. We had an opportunity to get money in for Lacazette, and the club turned it down because it was below their valuation.
What I would say though, Roma was linked to not Mertens, Milik, and Dzeko was meant to go to Juventus, but because they didn't get minutes, Dzeko was stayed basically. But the fee that Roma was willing to pay for minutes was in upwards of 40 to 45 mil. I don't blame Arsenal for turning down the evaluation because I know it would have been around the same price as Milik. We complain all the time about Arsenal getting ripped off for their sales. If it's a case where Roman's offering 20 to 25 mil, then I can't complain with them turning that down. In terms of, like I said, I feel if Arsenal got a substantial bid that they feel is good enough, he would be gone. I don't think it's a case where they don't want to sell him. I think they do want to sell him.
So you feel like they would want to sell him, it's just they can't, or they're struggling to? What do you think it is?
They're struggling. Listen, we paid what? Was it 50 to 54 mil
55
for him?
mil. Yeah,
something
54.
like that. Like,
yeah.
You're gonna try your best to at least get over off of that value back.
What is he worth in today's market?
In today's market, I'll say probably 30.
30 mil. So
30
you're saying
mil.
his value has depreciated 20 mil. We got somebody in the comment section saying they would take 20 million for him. Like, honestly, we can't be depreciating our players' value that much where we're taking whatever we get. Really?
I think 20 is way too low when you consider the likes of what's his name that Liverpool sold. I rate him, Brewster. I do think he's got a lot of potential, but when you consider he's never played in the Premier League and he's gone for 25 mil, Lacazette can go for 25 to 30.
Okay. So we're getting more people in the comment section now coming through. They're saying Lacazette is worth nothing. Someone's saying no, he's not worth 30 million as a striker. They're saying Giroud was a much better striker at Arsenal. I think we do this as Arsenal fans too much, bro. We look back at what we had and we say to ourselves that was better. Like, let's be real. Santi Cazorla was a great player at Arsenal. He kicked on and he did good in Spain. But if he stayed, do you really think he would have stayed fit? Do you really think he would have still had the same amount of do you think he would still have the same situation that he had when he went to Villarreal? Or did he go to Villarreal? Yeah, it was Villarreal, right? I don't think he would have had the same situation. So when we talk about Giroud, if Giroud was still here, we'd still be talking bad about him. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, of course, but what to take into consideration is Giroud's output and performances was a lot better. It's just that he had inconsistent patches in during the season, but it was never as low as Lacazette. And Giroud, when you weigh it up, cool, okay, Lacazette scores against big teams, but scoring against 6 teams that's 6 games. That's not your whole season. It's 38 games. Yeah.
Okay.
So then,
yeah, I know.
So then, when you look at playing away from home and things like that, Lacazette rarely turns up. You can't go away from home and have a striker that's not performing.
No, you definitely can't. But you know what? He did bag 3 goals this season, so it is kind of harsh to say he's not bagging goals.
No. If
He
you
did
look
bag
at the
3
goal,
goals.
listen. If you look, you can bag a goal and not perform. You can
Yeah.
score goals and not perform. So I'm not looking at that because if you look at the goal he scored, like Aubameyang crossed it in for him. He scored that. What was it, header? I think that was against West Ham.
Yeah.
The Willian one against Fulham. It was on the
Yeah.
goal. It was on the line. Like, he's meant to score that.
Yeah.
He's not been performing. These 3 goals means nothing to me.
Let's answer this question when you're done. I honestly think I thank you for the comment, obviously, and thank you everyone for the comment. Gun Force edit says, question: if no one goes, we don't sign anyone in January. Would you take someone like Mustafi out and register out of the Premier League register squad and bring in Mesut Ozil? You know what? That's a question which we've spoken about so many times. It's not going to happen.
Never, not going to happen.
Would you do it though?
If I was, yes, I would. But it's not down to me, and it's not down to the coach. I'm sure Arteta himself would. Like, people gonna, okay, Arteta is being used as a shield, just the same way Wenger was. I don't feel Arteta would have forcefully gone to the board and say, I don't want Ozil to play, even though he's come out and said, oh, it's performance related. I feel that he shouldn't have done that because now he's picking up a lot of stick for it. But anyone with logic will know that it's not solely Arteta's decision. Like, it's politics from up above.
Yeah. Your military gooner is going in saying, yo, Cash, you had a busy day. 3 pods in one day. I've seen you.
Long, bro, long.
That's my guy, military gooner, all the way from Jamaica. Shout out to him. I can't make all our fans happy. Sitting at home watching a screen, very easy to pick on on players. What? I'm
You
confused.
can't make all fans happy. Sitting on big on players.
I get what he's saying. Some people some people do pick on players a lot, like that undeservingly. And you know what? I'm gonna do a video on that soon. I'm gonna be talking about it. But I just got to touch on some things, Kesh. Can we get a Dominic Szoboszlai? Can we get Houssem Aouar? And you know what? Is this the type of player that you think
Money talks. Listen, money talks, man. Like money talks. I don't understand where people sums it up in their head where they think, okay, you can't get a top quality player. At the end of the day, Arsenal is still a pool. They're still a pool.
I'm gonna show
It
you.
depends on who is coming in for these players. But when you're linked to the likes of AC Milan and Leipzig, you can't tell me Arsenal hasn't got a chance to go and get a Dominic Szoboszlai.
Do you think Dominic Szoboszlai is the number? Who do you think is Aouar still the number one target, or are we changing our tune now?
I don't think personally. I want both. Personally.
You want both?
I feel like they can offer different things, but I'm starting to come to the conclusion that they've weighed it up and they've looked more at what each player can bring. If you look at both players, I think Aouar is more in the role where he can control the game. He can control the game, get the ball moving, and play in the final third. With Aouar now, not Aouar, sorry, Szoboszlai, he's got such a aura about him. He's the X factor. He's the sort of player that can win games single-handedly, as you've just seen what the goal that he just scored today. And if you look at his outputs in terms of assists and goals, they're sky high. Like there's something about him, like he drives our opponents, and we're missing that sort of profile, that player that puts fear. Because I feel like when teams come and play us, there's not really any danger men on the ball. It's only off the ball. Like Aubameyang, he can be dangerous if he gets into the box. But when it comes to build-up play, we haven't got anyone that's dangerous like that.
Yeah. Okay. I say this word, trust the process. When I say trust the process, Kesh, I might not mean the same thing to what other people think. What other people might think as trust the process means trust in Arteta, trust in the board. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying understand that it's a process in the sense that you don't get from step 1 to step B to step C right away. It takes time to get from one step to another step, right? You don't just go from like that and you trust the process and immediately it's just going to become you're going to be a team that's challenging for titles. What trust the process means is trust in the situation, and you can see the growth and development of certain parts of the club. There's still certain parts of the club which we notice is not right, but there has been progression in certain parts of the club. There is a better situation with the loan situation. If you've noticed, we're finding better loans for our youth players. Like for example, I'm going to do a loan video, and I was looking at some of these players that are getting out on loan. They went on a loan and they're doing well. One of those kids, that kid today scored his first career goal. What's his name? The midfielder that we loaned out to League 1 team. He bagged the goal.
Smith?
No, the African descent. I forget his name off the top of my head. Starts with an O. The midfielder. He bagged the goal today, and it was like one of the main things on Arsenal. He plays for a League 1 team. I'll remember it. But Kesh, what do you think people misconstrue trust the process with? Because for me, trust the process is not trust that we're going to get it this season.
I think
it's the long game.
I think people think trust the process means to just shoot up the league and go on and challenge or get top 4. There's loads of different segments to trust the process. When you're talking about, for instance, you just mentioned our youth players. For years and years, our youth players will stick in our under 21s and play under 20s football. And we used to wonder why they don't make it at the club. Because under 21s is not growth. You can't. There's only so long you can play youth football. You need that
Yeah.
step up to men's football to then progress into the Arsenal first team. It's what builds you. So when you got the
Yeah.
likes of, say, Willock, the Nelsons come through, and then they get forced into the youth, into the first team, and then us fans get on their back. And let's be honest, it's not their fault. Like, the weight that they've got on their shoulders should never be placed on their shoulders. They should have senior pros that's able to guide them and make it an environment where they can progress. Like, now I'm going to talk about Saliba. Okay, I want Saliba to start, but then as like if you put him in that team and he's playing next to Bellerin, for instance, and then that shatters his confidence because that side, as we were talking about on Football Terrace, is very weak. And we've seen the likes of Arteta speak about it. You've got to create the right environment for these youth players to progress. Man United, you think the class of with all fucking Beckham, all that coming through, you think they would have made it if they never had the likes of Giggs and all that? Remember, Giggs played many games for them. There was loads of leaders in that team.
Yeah, I got the name, Kesh. The name is Oyanik.
I know you talk about the Nigerian descent. Yeah, I know you
Olenik.
talk about
Olenak?
Olienka. It's like
Olienka.
Olienka or whatever his name is. Yeah,
Olienka got his first senior goal.
Yeah, he played in the Europa League one game, I think, last season as well. Yeah, I know you talk about.
He bagged a goal. Obviously, Terrera bagged the goal for Atletico. Then you got Bellingham got man of the match for his first start for Blackpool. Then you got Colin and John Jules on target playing doing their thing. You got Matt Smith scoring a goal for Swindon, of course, right? You got Saliba.
Can I just say something to Rafael though? Rafael,
yeah,
like okay, you can not like Arteta if you don't want to. There's nothing wrong with that, but the same things that we're complaining about Arteta, is it not all down to the board to appoint the right manager to lead this team? Do you think if, for instance, a Jose Mourinho came into this team that so many people say they want because he's a proven winner, what's the likely outcome of Jose failing at this club? It's about 99% that he would fail at this club because he's not going to be given the right equipment to follow this job through. So I think this is bigger than just Arteta. Way bigger than just Arteta. At the end of the day, cool. Yes, we might not should appoint a manager that's a novice, a rookie, and expect him to carry this team. But if you're going to do it, at least do it in the right way and provide him the tools to do it. Make his job a lot easier. And don't get me wrong, he makes mistakes. But I knew him getting this job, he was going to make mistakes. So my expectation was not high for him. But the reason why I want him at this job because I feel he can learn and he can actually help and try and progress this club. It might not be him that takes us to the new heights of, say, challenging for a title, but I feel he can build and apply some foundation there for the next manager that may come in.
Yeah. You know what I think it is? I think people get triggered from that word, trust the process, because they think they want immediate success, as you said, right? So when you want immediate success, when someone says have patience, what is the first thing that's going to happen to you? You're going to get mad. You're going to get reactionary, and you're going to say to yourself, why is this happening? But you know what? Arteta never said those words. It's the fans that are saying these things. It's fans like myself who say these things, and it gets people upset. Like, understand, a lot of your anger is not necessarily on the players. It's sometimes the reactions that the fans give. That's what gets you mad. And you know, as fans, we should understand that we are in a situation right now where the club is not performing the way we want it to perform, and it's not the same club that we had when we grew up. This is not the Arsenal we grew up watching, bro. This is real shit. This is not the team that we grew up watching in the Champions League every year.
Nothing has changed. From when Wenger was there, nothing has changed. It seems like fans seem to think that this is a completely new Arsenal. Nothing's changed. It's the same people still doing the same recruitment. It's the same people still not showing the same ambition. If you look at our team and alright, cool. We give this statement all the time. Arteta only needs 3 to 4 windows, and then he can probably be back. That's very. It's a what's the word? It's a weird statement because what you have to understand is, even if you give Arteta those windows, if you don't add enough, while other teams or rivals are still adding to their team, you're still going to be behind. So you've got to add extra. So, for instance, if you added, okay, we added the Partey, we added Gabriel this season, we needed to add another extra 3 players to make sure that next summer, when our rivals do add, we're not far off behind them. Because football continues to move, and just because your rivals didn't add this season, don't mean they're not going to add next season. So you've got to do the extra bit. And at this point in life, Arsenal is way behind these other clubs.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share some of these things. So first, we're going to screen share what they're saying about Dominic, right? I know you want both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, we both want Aouar, but this is the more realistic signing, right? If we're going to be realistic, this is the more realistic signing.
Without a doubt. That's the most realistic signing.
Edu's already talking about holding talks about a £22.5 million sale from Salzburg to Arsenal. There's already rumors saying that this deal has been boosted. They're saying that the situation is looking like it could happen. We've heard it all before, right? Edu and Arteta have this master plan. You know what? I have a question to everybody, right? If you don't trust the board, I have a question for everybody. Do you trust the 2 men that seem like they are running the show right now? Because it looks like these guys are running the show. Do you trust Arteta and Edu? And do you trust their footballing brain and their decision making? Because if you didn't trust the likes of Gazitas, you didn't trust Don Raul, you didn't trust Arsene Wenger, you didn't trust Emery. Can you trust these 2 right now?
It's better. It's the best, probably one of the best windows we've had in how long. But that doesn't say much because we didn't get everything that we needed to get done. So it all comes back down to is, are these people being backed? I know we're in a bad financial state because of the money we've given to certain players. We've letting players go on free. We're well behind. We've not helped ourselves. But at the same time, how do we help that? How do we make things better for ourselves? Football this day and age, I know people say, yes, you get the money, you spend the money, but in a weird way, I don't feel we spend the money right. And we've done it for so many years. Like, for instance, you sell your best player to then add another player, but at the same time, you just rip the squad up. That player might not hit it off straight away. We shouldn't be having to sell players to add players. We should be adding players to the quality we already have.
Yeah. So Dominic played today and he scored?
He scored, yes, last minute and sent his country to the Euros.
Wow. He did good for Hungary, bro.
Solo run. His last 2 games for Hungary has been, he scored a free kick the last game, didn't he? From like 40, 34 yards.
You know what, man? I'm not gonna act like I've watched all these games or anything, but I've been hearing about this guy for the longest time. Dominic, we've been hearing about him because of Hungary and because it's it's a country that doesn't have a lot of like breakout stars. When they have a star, it gets mentioned. Just like Haaland was being mentioned. Remember when he scored like 9 goals in a youth game, in a youth tournament for his country? That was like nuts, right? And those things pop up. And right now, I'm reading into this whole thing about the window as they're preparing us as fans to know that we're not going to sign nobody in January. But they're not doing it the way Emery did it. Emery, the way he did it was, I only have loan deals. What's going on right now is they're basically trying to tell us completely forget about this window. It's all about next window.
Listen, we've just got an owner who doesn't care. I don't care what anyone says because people say they don't blame the owners. It all comes down to the owner. Like, you don't offer them enough money. Like this, we're the only club who does this self-sustaining bullshit. Like, self-sustaining. How can you be self-sustaining if you're letting players go on free, or you're only spending 100 mil, if that, per season. Like a club like Arsenal should be spending 150 mil every transfer window, every summer, shall I say?
Yeah,
You've got to match what your rivals are doing,
100%. Like, there's
and we
not
don't
even a
match
question
that.
about it.
We don't
We
match
don't.
that.
But you know why, though? You know why? It's because they think this sustaining model is a way to is a way to keep things ticking over without spending money. But they don't realize if they would have just spent a little bit more, they would maybe make
They will
more
spend
on the
less.
back
They
end.
would spend less. Listen, if they were
Look at
spending from a
City.
long time ago, we wouldn't need to spend the amount of money that we actually need to spend.
Oh my God, look at this comment. Sam, really? Really? Do you forget what it was like under Emery?
No, to be fair, I understand what he's saying, though. I do understand what he's saying. Because if you break it down this way, nothing's changed. We're still a shit team. We're still a team that's not progressing in the right direction.
Okay, but here's what I would challenge you with. Emery never beat a big team away from home.
No, I understand that.
Emery never gave us these
Egal.
performances.
I understand that. But these beating the big teams away and things like that, come the end of the season, it doesn't matter if we're still not progressing. If we're still not returned to the Champions League, it doesn't matter. At the end of the season, everything gets wiped away if you haven't won the league.
But it was
If
because
you
of
haven't, if
Emery.
you haven't met the expectations.
It was more Emery's fault that we finished 8th than it was Arteta's.
I understand that, but then again, it goes back to him not being back. It goes back to him not getting his players. It all stems back to your owner having ambition. If a manager comes in and he says he wants that player, you give him that player. Because at the end of the day, you're signing his death warrant because he's gonna come and say, "Well, I didn't have the players that I wanted. These players don't fit into my system. These players ain't good enough." That's all it comes down to. So I don't know. I don't see how it's gonna change. I really don't see how it's gonna change. But
Yeah.
in my head, I've weighed it up and I've said the owners and the board have lowered the expectation and it's lower than what we as fans think it is. We as fans, or we feel entitled because of our history, our rich history. But these owners might feel that we're just a mid-8 team. That's where we should float. And if that's what they think, there's nothing that us fans can do.
Anyways, let's go to a positive note. Congratulations to Kieran Tierney. His team, Scotland, have made it to their first major tournament since 1998. Crazy, bro. They haven't. Scotland's been dead for that long. But big up to Kieran Tierney for making it. And you know what? He played left center back today for Scotland. Are you surprised?
No. We played there a few times. Nothing I'm surprised about.
Yeah, but yo, okay. So let's talk about this. Where can we? Okay, we know where we went wrong. I feel like where all this stems from is the error from that summer where we bought Xhaka, Mustafi, Lucas Perez. I felt like that summer was a summer that's still affecting us till now. I feel like every summer, the Terrace summer with Leno was a good summer. Even though it didn't get us top 4, we lost a lot of players, but we
don't do
constantly
enough.
we don't replace everyone we lose. The thing is, we expect the youth academy to come in and fill gaps and paper over cracks. To be honest, Saka is a good project from the youth academy, but the problem is they'll expect the Saka to
depend
come
on
every
him.
other
We shouldn't have to depend on Saka. We shouldn't. Like,
but look at Liverpool right now. They have an injury crisis. They're going to depend on Nico Williams.
It's the same situation as when we had a Jack Wilshere. We rest everything on that lad's shoulder and expected him to carry us. Like if Saka burns out, it all falls back on us. It all falls back on us. Honestly.
Yeah, we've wasted too much money on bad contracts, says Vegas Gooner. He says, and the recruitment. And then you got someone saying buying Xhaka over Conte unforgivable.
Unforgivable.
And also the way they sold it too. They didn't want to spend that much money on a Leicester player, but they went and got.
No, that's not what it was. That's not what. Listen, if you look at the Kante deal that they ran away from, it would have been a lot of money. But it's because they don't want to pay agent fees. Bruv, it's football. It's 2020. You've got to pay these agent fees. You've got to. If you want a player, you pay what the player and his team wants.
But Kesh, am I really being? Am I looking at the past too much? Do you think? Because I'm looking at this comment and I'm like, think of the future. Do you think the future is that bad? Because in my eyes, I think the future could be positive, Kesh, in the sense that we have a lot of these guys that we need to get off contracts, getting off contracts. And if we can find a way to replace Mustafi with a quality center back, replace Socrates with a quality backup center back.
I do. No, I agree. I agree. But even from that, even if we got the right players in and things started running smooth, I still feel that at some point we would fall back. We will fall back and drop out the top four because they'll look at it and think that's enough. And then they won't add, they won't give you what you need. Like, it's just a constant merry-go-round. You go around in circles and circles. Like, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
My guy's hilarious. Bob Cliff said he's given up on Arsenal. He's switching teams. Oh man, you can't do that. Not in today's age. You can't switch teams. There's no such thing. You can't be like Liverpool fans in London who switched to Chelsea. What?
Of the players we've got
in the last
5 years.
2
Not a lot of them. Not a lot of them. I'll tell you that. Like,
I'll tell you a couple guys will be here. Saka.
Tierney. Saka probably won't even be here.
Why?
Saka will probably it all depends on how things start going, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, Saka right now, he's learning his game. But when it gets to the point where he's a fully flourished senior player, his head can change because then he can decide, okay, like, I believe in myself now, I believe in my ability, and I believe I can go and play at the highest level. The highest level is the Champions League. And if you can't offer him that, then you used to blame him for wanting to leave.
Okay, I completely disagree with this. Egal, Oli is the same as Arteta. Both have no tactics. Oli also goes and runs formations. What? Runs off form. 17 games unbeaten. Arteta 7 games unbeaten. Choke teams. They beat Man United 1. Listen, the thing about Oli is Oli's been a manager for a long time. We've seen his resume, where Arteta, he's still writing his book. So we have a lot more hope on Arteta, and Arteta has a bigger name because he hasn't actually had a failure in his resume, where Oli has a big failure, getting a team relegated in the Premier League, and then coming from Molde to manage Manchester United. Let's be honest, Arteta, at the end of the last season, you would have never spoken of him in the same sentence as Oli. Do you think that's true?
I think all that talk is irrelevant, to be honest. Like, I believe Arteta is a good coach. He's just not showing it right now. When he first came in, I saw a lot of things that was positive. But at the moment, we're in a little phase where everything's so negative right now. He as a coach, he's new to the game. He doesn't know what to change, or he's not acting on it. He's being stubborn. I don't feel that it's because he's not a good coach or he ain't good at tactics. I just feel it's a bit of fear and a bit of not having that manager know-how. He's not experienced this yet. So now it's just about showing some character and getting through this. Because when he first came in, we was playing a better system. We was playing a normal 4-2-3-1, and I saw positive things in there that I liked.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he's then gone on. He's found success with the system that he's now playing, and it got him immediate success of a silverware. So look at it as a put yourself in his shoe anything that you do in your day-to-day life, you found a method, it works for you, whether that's to do with work or, I don't know, anything that you do in your day-to-day life and it works for you, you stick with it.
Mane. Look,
But
my
now
guy's
it's so,
asking me.
but now it's just a thing
Right.
now where, okay, you come across an obstacle now and your method ain't working. What's the solution? What do you do? Now it's just about picking himself up and deciding, okay, I need to change it now. It's not working for me. These players, it's just not working. So let's try something else.
Yeah. You know what, bro? I was gonna go to sleep after this, but I'm not, because you know what? I'm probably gonna do another video on that Aubameyang situation. But this is, let's be honest, bro. This whole situation at the club, everything
Bro,
about it.
listen, you're saying fake fans. There's no such thing as a fake fan. There's no such thing as a fake fan. The only way you can be a fake fan is if you support one team and the other. So where's your logic in that statement? If you're gonna
Man,
suck me off, then continue sucking him off.
yo, man, honestly, it's just annoying. What are you gonna do though? Listen, I'm gonna say this. At the end of the day, if the club doesn't sign anybody in January and they go and smash the summer window, I'm gonna be happy as a fan in the summer, but I'm gonna be upset in the January window. But if we don't do nothing in the January window and we still somehow get Champions League football, I want everybody to shut their mouths.
Let me speak on this. Hold on, where is it? That comment.
Put it up.
Exactly, Sam. Wenger was a very good manager, one of the best actually. But even he couldn't make Arsenal be successful. Why? Because this club is run to the shit, and everyone seems to think it's just the manager. They seem to think that a clock could come into this team and save us. Bruv, these managers will come into this club and fail. They would fail, and not because of their own personal issues or they're bad managers, because they don't get the help that they require. You've seen it with Jose. Jose is a serial winner. He went a season, won Man United the Europa League, won another cup. Man United backed him when he first came in. Following season, don't back him. What does that lead to? Leads to Jose being a fail. It does not matter who Arsenal bring in, because if your club is not run from the top to bottom with ambition, it will not work.
No, Arsene Wenger underachieved. The board was a disgrace, but still, you know what, Kesh, I lost faith in Arsene Wenger after he sold Van Persie, but I still respected him.
I lost faith before that.
But I still respected him, and I felt like the way that he left was not on his own terms, and I felt like that was sort of a disgrace. But I understood why he left.
Wenger was just a human shield. Like a lot of people, alright, cool. You're saying Wenger underachieved, and I understand why you're saying he underachieved, because we had exceptional players. But we have to understand is it's the ambition. You can have the players, but if the ambition ain't the same from top to bottom, all the way through to your manager, you're not going to win anything. You've got to apply pressure on your manager for him to achieve things. There's no pressure being applied from up above. So you can be laid back. It's like being at a job. I don't understand why people don't use their logic. If you go to work and your manager, you're all pally-pally with your manager, and you can do what you want. You can go off on your break. You get an hour break, but you take an hour and a half, and he's cool with it. And then you don't finish up your achievements or whatever work you're meant to be doing in your office, and you don't get it done. Whose fault is that? It's your manager's fault. It's not your manager. Your manager, shall I say, obviously, because we're talking about work, it's your manager's fault because he lets you slack off and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's the same with our players. There's no repercussion for having underwhelming performances. There's no one saying, listen, like, you're not performing, so like you're gonna have to sling your hook. Like you're on the transfer, like you're gone. I'll get someone else in who can come and do your job and perform better. So these players slack off because they know they're gonna be here the following season.
Nah, man. You know what it was? I felt like the players let him down, bro, at certain points, because he constantly backed guys like He get back like guys like Aaron Ramsey kept getting injured. Got back guys like Theo Walcott performed sometimes and then didn't perform other times. He backed guys who underwhelmingly let him down. And you know what? At times when the players kept letting him down, he still picked them, and he had no other choice.
You're not using your common sense, mate. You're not using your common sense. I'm not one of these fans who said Arsenal will get top 4. So therefore, you can't apply that logic to me. Maybe to some other.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the masses.
No, I'm talking. I just brought it coming up, innit? I'm saying he's not using logic.
Yeah, I said we could get top 4 after I seen Manchester United struggling the way they're struggling, and you know what? I thought Tottenham could finish. We could get ahead of Tottenham because at the end of the day, I seen us perform decent against Liverpool at the end of the season, City at the end of the season, and I let myself get carried away with those performances. But to this day, I'm still going to stick by it because I think we still can get in that situation, in and around it. All we need to do is to find a way to get a better goal difference. And right now, if we don't start scoring goals, we're never going to be in that situation.
This comment here, like Henry during his time retired, during his off season when he was playing in America, he's a player that will go and train at Arsenal. I'm sure he senses these things. Everything's too comfortable at Arsenal. It's too comfortable. Like there's no pressure. There's no pressure on these players. How many years have Bellerin best season was what? Probably 2015. Since then, he's been underwhelming. But if that was at Chelsea, do you think Bellerin would still be here? No. Bellerin would have been out the door and they would have found a replacement. And that's what wins you. That's what makes players winners, knowing that they have to perform. You can't be a winner if you know that you're going to get away with it. You've got to have some sort of goals, pressure, and ambition to get to places.
Sam saying Spurs can win the league this year. Arsenal are not in the conversation. Like, really? You really think Spurs are gonna? It's not in their DNA to do that kind of stuff. But you know what? They do have a manager who's been there before.
They're playing well right now. They are playing well right now. But what have we seen over the last few years? Harry Kane gets injured come around Christmas, January, or they just drop off. But then you have to take into consideration that you've got Man City still there, you've got Liverpool still there. You're talking about two top teams just dropping off. What's the likelihood of that happening?
Okay, let's address this comment from Abdi Nasser Ali. What do you think of Arteta? His tactics making Arsenal fail currently, or is the team see Arsenal is easy to beat? Why are you guys fans? He's not what? Gina, what is that? Make us.
He's not gonna make us.
Oh, he's not gonna make us where we should be. Yeah.
Is that what you expect? Is that what you expect though? Was that your expectation that Arteta was gonna get us to where we should be?
I feel like Arteta's building the building blocks of he's building a foundation, and in order for us to reap the benefits of what he's building, it's not going to happen in one season. We're gonna have to see him get the defense right. Then we're gonna have to see him get the creativity right, and then we'll see the full picture maybe in the third season. Right now, it's still until January. He hasn't even completed his full season yet as a manager. So to me, he still has a free pass. I don't know. Some people don't give him a free pass, but Kesh, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm giving him a free pass until next year. This time, if it's still the same situation, then we can start talking about it.
But I've always said, like, I'm gonna give. Before he came, I said I'm gonna give him a year to 2 years. I've said that from the start. So I'm not just gonna suddenly decide that because he's not showing enough, he should go out, because I don't feel that's fair. I understand he's making mistakes, and I feel he needs to sort these mistakes out immediately. But from what I saw when he first came in, I know he's got something there to offer. I'm not saying he's going to come out of this and he's going to be this great shiny light that takes Arsenal to the Champions League straight away or something like that, which is why I said at the start of the season, I don't believe we'll get top 4. And any fan that actually thought, I know a lot of Arsenal fans said that we would get top four, but I don't feel they themselves believe that. I feel they're saying it on the basis that United started the season poor. They're open.
You know what I said?
Hold on. This is an indifferent season. It's not like a normal season. I don't feel like every team's defense is being consistent. I feel Arsenal fans looked at that and thought, if by luck or chance, maybe Arsenal can get top four. But at the same time, I knew that would be a far off chance, because if you look at every other team, they've improved more than us. Even though we added 2 players, they've improved. They had a better squad than us last season, and they've gone to improve this summer.
I just want to add on something. You said fans who said why we could get top 4. Let me explain to you why I thought we could get why I still think we can get top 4. I see our attack, and don't forget, we have the most expensive front 3 in the league. Okay, that's 1. 2, I see us building a whole new defensive shape with the players that we brought in the likes of Saliba, Gabriel, even David Luiz last season, and Pablo Mari, Cedric. The depth that we have in the squad from seasons before, with Saka playing attacking third, Willian coming in and attacking third. Saka can play in the attacking third. You have 3 right backs. You have 2 left. You have 2 to 3 left back options. You have 4 to 7 center back options. The only area where we lack the depth and the quality is the midfield. And the moment we got a Thomas Partey, I felt like that would bring more balance to our midfield when we face the likes of other teams, even though they might have more quality midfielders. Bringing Thomas Partey, putting him in, is like the crown jewel in that midfield that we finally were missing. So I felt like this man in the midfield was someone who can command the game, and he himself could raise the levels of the other midfielders next to him. And I'm hoping that we can still get top 4 based on our defensive performances, and if we can win the games at home against the top teams, and we can draw the games away from home. If we can do that, mathematically, we're still in it no matter what, bro.
Nah, I don't understand how you can think that, because we were saying we need, not even just last season, the season before that, and the season before that. We've always said we needed 4 to 5 players. So I don't understand how we can just get 2 players and think that it's suddenly we're gonna have a miracle season and get back in the Champions League. We've been out of the Champions League for 4 seasons now.
I'm gonna be quick. Can I address you? We have there's a difference. The past couple of seasons, we didn't have a spine of 4 players that you could say you can rely on to a certain extent. In Aubameyang, we have a team. We have a core set of guys in the team that I feel like are reliable. We can build around. Which we didn't have.
You see the score thing. We were saying the score thing because when Arsenal used to be a great team, we had a good team. It's just that our defense was shit. That's when I could understand the fact that we need to build a stronger core, people that we can rely on. But when you've got a shit team, this core doesn't mean anything because the team is shit around it anyway. Partey can't come in and do all this job all by himself. You can't do it. It's like, okay, you watched England today. Grealish looked a lot better in this game than he previously looked in other games because he had players he can bounce off, players on his same wavelength. There's a lot of people that's not at the standard that Partey is at. If you watch Partey and you see how easy he makes things look, I'm not saying he's performed great because he's only had a few games, but look when he passes the ball. He's at a different gear to the other players. And the rest of them around him is shit. Let's admit it. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of players in this team that the other top teams would not take. So what does that suggest to you? That suggests this team's well off. It's well off it. And I know people are going to throw back but you played against Villa who's probably got the same players, same quality as you lot. I get that. But these smaller teams, when they come to Arsenal, they're well up for it. These players that we've got, they're not up for it. They're not up for wearing the badge. They're not. And people blame Arteta, blame Emery, and say, okay, they should be doing better with this squad. But these players let you down. It don't matter what you do, they somehow find a way to let you down. They will give you a performance where you think, maybe things are changing. And then what you know next, 2 games later, they start doing underwhelming things again. There's no winning with these players. There's no winning. And when I see people talk about El Neni Pirlo, what did I say? I don't call him El Neni Pirlo. I call him El Neni Catamo. He's not that great. He's not that great.
Okay, there's this comment here. Grealish is better than Pate. I'm sorry, they play completely different players. They're completely different players.
Listen, this person don't know anything about football. When you're comparing a Grealish or Partey, it doesn't make any sense. I can't listen to people like this. He's probably like 16.
That's like comparing Neymar to what do you call? Not even Neymar. What am I saying? That's like comparing Neymar to Sergio Busquets.
Grealish been playing on the left wing for Villa. Can Partey play on the left wing?
Nah, that's like comparing what do you call it? No, it's exactly like comparing a Neymar to Sergio Busquets. How are you gonna do that?
I don't understand.
Makes no sense. Anyways, here's a realistic question. Will Ozil be back in January? What do you guys think? I believe Arteta is ignoring Ozil all for and it's footballing reasons as why he left the squad, and the board's crazy, no loyalty at all. If you go back, you can and you watch the playback, you'll actually know that we've already spoken about this, and we think it's nothing to do with football, but we're not going to touch on it too much. Who's
for the title? I think this title race is taking a big twist, a very big twist, and I feel if the likes of Pep Guardiola do not step up and take this title this season, there's gonna be
Don't say it. Don't say it.
There's got to be an inquest.
Don't say Tottenham.
There's got to be an inquest, and then like I feel Chelsea are now second favourites. No one can tell me that they expect Liverpool to go on and win this title without their senior centre backs that won the championship last season, and expect Liverpool to go on and win it. No one can tell me that.
If Chelsea win this league with Frank Lampard, oh my God, it's not even Frank. You know what it is? It's Roman. Yo, Indiana said something to me that literally hit me deep to my core. He said to me, in his lifetime, he feels like Arsenal and Chelsea have switched places when it comes to the performances and the size of club.
He's not wrong.
I cannot promote that, but to me, that is probably one of the deepest things I've ever heard. The man is basically telling me we are now just a relevant London team and not really relevant.
Whatever you say, mate. Whatever you say. I'm deluded because I think Chelsea are second favourites. Well done.
Oh my God, no, NA is just, that's my guy. He's just talking shit right now. But yo, man. Yo, you know what it is. You know me, Kesh. I'm the kind of person, when the chips are down, I'm still backing the team. People tell me why you support. We support the club.
People don't listen. You don't listen. Open your ears. I didn't say.
No. I'm not talking about you.
No, I'm not talking to you. I didn't say Liverpool can't win it. I just said I don't feel they are favourites, considering they've lost Van Dijk and they've lost Gomez. You've now got Matip and Fabinho there. Matip is not consistently fit. So then you're going to have to throw in a youth centre-back with Fabinho. Do you think a youth centre-back can carry you through?
Fabinho's not even healthy.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm speaking
Fabinho's not even healthy. Matip, it's going to be Matip.
By the way, if Liverpool do go on and win the championship, I'll place them as the best English team ever. No doubt about it.
Why?
Mate, like, with all the injuries and the players dropping out, come on. If you manage to crawl over this line and win this title, like, you've got to admire that.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of doing.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to be doing another video later with the whole Aubameyang video thing, the Aubameyang thing. Did you already hear about it? We're going to touch on it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be about? Are you going to be sleeping?
Depends on what time you're doing it, really.
Literally, probably 20 minutes from now.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we're gonna be on the Arsenal Lounge at 8 o'clock. I don't know. Did he ask you?
Yeah.
All right, so you're there, and then what do you call it? It's my new show on the Arsenal Lounge. It's gonna be Friday fan cams, Basically, anyone who wants to come on, you can come on and just message me. And then I'm gonna do, after we do that, we're gonna be talking about Pate and who's going to be the best partner with Pate. Because let's be honest, if we're going to partner him with somebody or partner him with a trio, who are we going to get? We're going to have to start thinking about that.
We're both from the UK.
I'm not from the UK. I'm from Canada, but I live here.
I think it means live here.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's so much stuff that I got to do. Like Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I'm going to do Ainsley Maitland-Niles video. Don't you think he deserves a chance? Like, it's just not even fair what's going on with him right now.
Listen, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I do not think it was a Arteta choice. I feel like the recruitment team and Edu saw, all of a sudden, all you clubs are coming in or talking about him. Nah, you know what? We want to sign you up to a new contract. This is all about getting more money for Ainsley. I promise you. They want to sign him up to a new contract. So then, come summer, if it's a possibility to sell him on, we sell him on. Because think of the money that was getting offered for Ainsley. It wasn't good enough. Ainsley, you can easily get 20 to 25 mil for him. And you're offering 15 more. That's the only reason why I feel they've worked it a way where they can keep him and offer him a new contract. I don't think it's a choice where Arteta wanted to keep Ainsley. I generally don't. Because if that was the case, you would be giving him games.
That makes sense. I'm going to get into that and then another video I'm going to be doing soon, I'm going to be talking about Martinelli as playing as striker with Aubameyang on the left. Do you think it would work? Having them intertwine from left and right and striker. Have Aubameyang play striker, Martinelli on the left, have Martinelli on the left sometimes, Martinelli as striker sometimes, Aubameyang on the left. During the game, just them rotate, see how it works.
I think we've just got to get our best players in the team and get some form of consistency to the lineup. Change the system a bit and just let the players have a bit more freedom. And generally, that's what I want to do. I want to see the players freedom because there's a lot of fans seem to think this is just a system thing. So I want them to go out there and say, you know what, here's a 4-2-3-1. You lot go out there, do what you have to do. So then we can find out, we can separate the frauds from the legitimate players. Because there's a lot of frauds in this team. A lot of them. Overpaid frauds. And once he changes the system, people will start to realize that it's not just a system. And people will realize why he's fearful of playing an open possession game with this team. But you've got to do that. You've got to find out who your players is and who the ones you can count on. So put them to the test and see how they get on.
Egal's optimistic. We are just saying it how it is. Yo, there's nothing wrong with either of us having difference of opinions. I completely agree and understand where you're coming from, and you understand where I'm coming from. I just choose to see things differently from how you see it, right? I'm generally an optimistic person. Now, this right here is the next video we're going to be doing. It's already out on the channel. We're going to be doing it just a few minutes for not even like probably like what 11:45, 12 o'clock. We're going to be doing a video talking about Aubameyang. Kesh, you're Kesh. You've been, how many streams you've been on? You were on Steven's show, right?
Yeah, 3, 2,
yeah. 2. Yeah. I was busy earlier. Couldn't even do it. I was on the football terrace earlier and then just chilling. Okay. Yo, Rance was on there. Pretty cool. Rance a nice guy, man.
About time. Been waiting for Rance to make an appearance. I said about time.
Yo, I don't know if people know this, but yo, AFTV is dying. Like,
I said that would happen though.
Yeah, Troop's gone. Claude's gone.
Yeah, I know that would happen.
There's no matches, right?
Well done, pal.
Let's be honest, bro. Real talks. It's not looking good for them.
I said that would happen though. Like when you're losing, remember these are built that foundation, the foundation of AFTV, and you don't suddenly have something that was successful and then replace it and think it's gonna work. It doesn't work like that. Especially people that's not really got a bubbly character, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you something. I genuinely believe United Stand, all these channels could get eaten up by the Football Terrace. Football Terrace could be the biggest fan channel.
It could be, without a doubt.
In just like nearest future. And you know what? Big up to Terry for letting me on and letting everybody else on, and big up to everybody who's watching. If you guys missed my last video, I was talking about Konate, and I just want your opinion on it, Keshwa, before we go. So I came out here and I didn't really talk too much about it. I touched on it, dabbled on it a little bit. Get that comment off a little bit. Which comment is that? Winter Surfer. Oh, big up to Winter Surfer. So yeah, so Konate Ibi was at Leipzig. He has a release clause of 45 million. Arsenal is looking to look at replacements for the center back situation, and that's one of the options they've looked at. Now, we also were looking at the kid Nkunku, and guess what? The moment we come sniffing around, boom, 5-year contract.
I wouldn't go for Nkunku anyway. Like, if we're looking at Dominic Szoboszlai, what's the point of getting Nkunku?
A winger?
Yeah, but he's not an out-and-out winger though. We need to stop going for these players who's technically good and call them wingers. Like, he's not a winger. Maybe Arsenal need to get back to having natural wingers. You know what I mean? Like, we've got too many of these players who we fit out on the wing. They don't hug the touchline. Maybe we need to look at that and think maybe we need to actually try and get different profile for wings.
Yeah. And then, I was gonna ask people in the comment section, do you guys prefer us going the youth way, or do you guys prefer doing the way we did with Thomas Partey and Aubameyang and buying the proven player and just paying the money for the guy, even though he's near the end of his career? Like,
listen, towards the end of last season, what did I say? I said we should get rid of Lacazette and move Aubameyang on, because
I agree with you.
I don't see where we're going to get immediate success. So what's the point of offering someone a big contract who's probably going to give you 2 to 3 years tops? You might as well focus on adding young. Go back to what Wenger was doing, for instance. Yeah, add young players who's got good potential, and Arsenal fans need to just sit back and accept that we're not a top 4 team as of yet. But over the next 2 to 3 seasons, we're going to blood these youth, blood these gems, and try and get consistency in our seasons, because we ain't got no consistency in our seasons. So why not try and take a different approach? Perhaps the Ajax approach, except not selling them on when they reach to their full potential. And I feel that would have been a lot better, but that comes down to fans being on board with that. And a lot of fans won't be on board with that because they think, as I said again, Arsenal is this rich club, with rich history of success, so we must get it straight away. We've not been getting that for how many years now? So how do you expect it to immediately return? And I feel that there would have been a less expectation on our players, because we have this expectation on all these players because, okay, Aubameyang's the goal scorer. Yes, he's a goal scorer. But it's not just about Aubameyang being in this team. There's 11 men on the field. It's got to be a team performance overall. The all 11 players that's on the pitch need to pull together. And not everyone is pulling together.
Honestly, bro. Next question. I'm gonna ask you guys this: Thomas Partey, Saka, Gabriel, Martinelli, or Aubameyang? No. Gabriel, Saka, and Aubameyang, or Pepe, Aubameyang, Martinelli, or Pepe, Aubameyang, or Saka? What's your front three when everybody's healthy and right now?
My front three would be Aubameyang up top, Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left. I would actually put Emil Smith-Rowe there for the time being. Give the youth a chance. Give Emil Smith-Rowe a shot at showing what he can actually do. I would go ahead and as I said, if he went for the youth approach, I would be brave and I'll stick Partey in there with, say, a Miguel Aziz. That's the approach that I would take. Let's put some faith. Let's lower expectations and have some faith in our youth. let's think of a goal that we're trying to reach, rather than trying to take shortcuts and getting players like Willie and expecting that we're going to go from here to up there. It doesn't happen like that. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Chelsea weren't willing to give him a 3-year contract. There's only willing to give him 2.
Bro, they replaced him seamlessly with Ziyech.
Exactly my point. But Arsenal tend to go for these shortcuts, expecting these shortcuts to carry us over the line. It does not work like that. So
No,
therefore, we waste every season we go into, we waste it because we're not progressing. Last season, we wasted it. This season, it's looking like it's going to go that way as well. And then going into the summer, depending on what we do, the following season might be a waste as well. So it's just a continuous cycle.
pathetic, bro.
This thing here. Well, Green was only removed. He was actually going to get a call up, but Ollie actually phoned Southgate and asked for him not to be called up to this international break, which I understand, and I actually give Ollie a lot of credit for doing that. In fairness, because you've got to protect your youth and keep them out of the media, because the media can destroy them.
Yo, Cash, what do you call it? We're gonna jump over to the video, and we're gonna tell. I'm gonna put that comment. I'm gonna put the link to the other video for everybody right now. I'm just gonna move from the bedroom to the living room. If you want, we can start as soon as you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, meet me in another video. I'm gonna play the exit video. But yo, guys, everybody in the comment section, big up to you guys. Everyone, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you haven't already checked out my other videos, go check out my other videos. I'm gonna be back in a second with the next video. I put the link in the comment section right now. Go click on it. That we're gonna be going on that video just now. It's gonna go live just now. We're not gonna start it at midnight. We're gonna start it immediately. So yeah, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I'll be back very, very soon.